Hey, everyone. We're back. It's day 2. I am your host again, Jasmine, and we are here day 2 with Miss Laci Jordan. Say what's up, Laci.
Hey, good morning or good afternoon. I don't know. Morning for us.
Good afternoon. You know the drill. You're coming from everywhere. It's pretty awesome. Let's see who's here with us. We have Cody's back. Jack is back. Hi, Kristen. Ara, that's a cool name. I really like that name. Ariana, Danielis. Hey, y'all. Where are you guys coming from? Day two. So we have some people that were here yesterday. That's dope. I'm excited to see faces. A Villa. We have people have these really cool names. Like, remember yesterday we had Reverb Mike.
Oh yeah, I wonder if he's coming back.
We're ready for your playlist. We need you to come back with
yes.
Well, everyone, welcome back. Michigan's in the house, LA's in the house.
Hey.
We're doing vector art with Laci. And you guys know the drill. We have a little bit of housekeeping and then we're just going to jump straight into it. But before we do that, today we're going to be doing design feedback and we're going to be looking at your daily creative challenge reviews. And so if you tuned in to Voodoo Val just a few minutes ago, she explained the daily creative challenge and you are designing a superhero calling card using Adobe Capture and Photoshop. Ooh. And full disclosure, I did not know what a superhero calling card was and I had to Google it. And I watched I don't know. I like X. Throw that out there. I don't know why I didn't make the connection like Batman, anyways. So you're doing a calling card. We want to see the designs. We want to let you know what we think about them. So make sure you go to Adobe Live or actually go to Behance and then look up the Daily Creative Challenge and submit those designs so we can take a look later on. So that's that. And I think that's it. Stay live on the chat. We answered a lot of questions yesterday. You could take a look at the full Adobe Live schedule, like you can see here. There's all types of streams going on every day, all day. The team does an amazing job, so make sure you check that out. And I think that's all. I think that's all the housekeeping. Man, that was a lot to say. So I'm going to take it over to Laci because she's our special guest. Laci, introduce yourself. We have some new people. Tell us about yourself and show us what we're doing today.
Cool. So my name is Laci Jordan. I'm a multidisciplinary designer located in Los Angeles, originally from Alabama. Yes, the South. Today we're going to do a combination of floral designs, which is something that I started doing yesterday. And also I brought in like a rough little sketch of a profile of a woman. If you follow my work or if you're new here, I tend to do a lot of portrait work. I'm trying to get out of that a little bit or make a little variety, but anyway, portraits usually of people of color, strong Black women, just women with attitude. That's kind of like my vibe. I like to create those moments. So yeah, today we're gonna combine what I started yesterday and bring in a little flavor. So I'm excited.
Yeah, and right now we're looking at Laci's Instagram/portfolio.
It really is. I haven't, my relationship with my website is poor. I need to, I really need to update portfolio. Don't be like me.
On
Update your portfolio.
Instagram it's really the new portfolio. That's like the first place of reference for a lot of people. And then
It
the link.
truly is. It's the only issue I have with, well, with me anyway, doing this is that like Instagram can go down anytime, which I mean your website can too, but it's more likely that it probably won't. And so I'm always telling myself, it's like, okay, your information needs to live somewhere that you have a little bit more control of. So that's the only reason why I'm like, oh, I need to get it together. But my portfolio is severely outdated, maybe 2 years. So I need to update that and update my Behance profile. So if you're looking for the new stuff, definitely go to Instagram.
Well, we'll be ready to see that. I didn't know you had a Behance. I'm gonna go stock it after this.
I do. I have two, weirdly enough, because I created a new one. I was like, I'm gonna start over, but I actually think I'm just gonna revamp my old one. But if you find it, which is under Laci Jordan, I'm pretty sure, you will see a lot of old work and you kind of see how far things have progressed. So I like to leave that work up to some extent. Like I keep all my old work and just old photos really on Instagram just to kind of go back from time to time and see where things started. And I think it's good for people who are new to me and my work, just so they can pretty much see that like it's a journey.
Yeah,
Not feeling the pressure to have everything figured out like right now.
100%. Yeah. I like showing old work. I feel like some people are afraid to share their old work. They only want to show like the newness that they love in the current moment. And I think
Right.
the journey and the progression is important.
Oh, for sure. For
Yeah.
sure. Because it just, I think it helps tell your story better too. Because a lot of times, like once you start doing certain type of work, I don't know, people will have this idea that everything happened suddenly, like like overnight, you just started doing all this stuff, and it's like, no, it's years of doing a whole lot. So I like to keep it up there just to one, remind myself and also reference things. Like a lot of the work that I was doing then is right in line with what I wanted to do in general and what I'm doing now. So I like to just keep it up there. But yes, check out the Instagram.
Yes, Cody already has you covered. He linked your Instagram. We got to find the Behance. Link
Yes, shout
Behance.
out to Cody.
Cody, Cody Bear just is always comes clutch with everything.
Ah,
Okay, so yesterday we did florals, which is really cool because a lot of the work that when I started getting familiar with you was like a lot of characters and like portraits.
mhm.
And so it was cool to see you like do florals, which is not something I've like seen. I mean, that's not the bulk of your work on Instagram.
Right, right.
Cool to see your process. And so now we're doing a little bit more like lacy characters. So how are you gonna bridge these two worlds together?
Oh, so more than I've done a lot of work, well, not a lot, but a few things recently where I've combined the two, where I may have like a person in the middle and have like these beautiful florals coming from around them or like surrounding them. So that's where I think I'm going. I'm gonna finish her first and then sort of just play around with different flowers. And there's still a few that I want to draw. So um you guys are going to be seeing me pretty much think about it in real time. Like I purposely didn't do a whole lot of like pre-sketching just because I was like, I want to be able to think through it just as I would any other project. So pretty much combining the two. I think I did a project for Sweet Green. Jesus, has it been 2 years now? I don't know. But if you're in LA, it's the
This
my 10th Avenue location in Santa Monica. But it was all based around florals. Well, I based it around florals. It was based around the seasons, and so I created four different pieces that represented the seasons through florals because I think, especially in SoCal, it's we have seasons, but they look very different than the rest of the country, in my opinion. I'm also not California native, so don't quote me. But yeah, I was like, I want to do something that sort of shows how the seasons progress, but in floral form. So it's gonna bring a little bit.
I like that concept. And I will co-sign on what you just said. I am a SoCalian. Our seasons are very weird.
What's your favorite SoCal season?
Oh man, I feel like I don't get enough from, so where I'm from, I'm closer to Palm Springs. So it's
Oh, I love Palm Springs.
love Palm Springs, don't
Oh,
like being hot 90% of the year. So,
oh,
and
it's
migrating to the Bay Area where it's a lot cooler. But
oh for sure. So do you? So I like when I say I love Palm Springs, I love like Palm Springs and Joshua Tree. I'm literally aggressively looking at my calendar right now to figure out when can I escape to go to the desert, because I feel like it's sort of like my version of the country, like being from the South. My family, we have land in different places, like we have family that actually lives like in the country. A lot of people think Alabama is all country, and it's definitely not. So the city that I'm from is the city, but I have family that's kind of like in the deep South, and I always say that I think my version of enjoying the country is like going to the desert, because it's so quiet, so peaceful. It's something about the air and like the dryness that my skin likes, which is also weird. But I will go on a solo trip to Joshua Tree at least 2 to 3 times a year if I can, and I want to like up that number because it's so peaceful.
and that's so funny that it does, you were saying it does good stuff for your skin. It's like a sauna, or like it's like a spa, like the weather
Yes,
just dry. It takes away all of the toxins out of your body. Like you just feel like you're
yes, you feel amazing. Like I have some personal projects that I need to get done, and I've convinced myself that I need to go to the desert to get these things popping. Um, so hopefully I can get there soon. Did this actually change colors?
do
Oh,
it. A lot of people are agreeing. I know. I hope the fires aren't affecting it either.
oh yes, that too. Jesus.
Like an hour from where I grew up. So, and surprisingly, I didn't visit a lot when I was younger, and now I'm visiting a lot in my adult life, and it's just like, how did I not escape here all this time?
It's hard, and I think since you're since you're from the area, it's also hard to appreciate it in that moment. Like when I go home now, it's a whole new level of appreciation of just being in the South and like the beauty of the South and things that I definitely took for granted. I'm looking at it totally different now. I don't think I like her eyelashes, so.
I
So
love
no.
you're doing the eyes, by the way. It I feel like one, eyes are like one of the hardest things to settle on
Oh,
when you're
absolutely. I'm not done with the eyes. Like I'm just tired of like picking with it, so I have to go to something else. It's hard. Eyes and hands, I don't like at all. At all.
for me it's eyes and nose. I don't know, like I
Nose
feel
is
like
hard.
a nose will literally destroy or make your characters. Like if you don't position it right, if it doesn't like have the shape you want, it just like messes up the whole thing for me, and I just get so frustrated.
Oh, for sure. No, I totally agree with that.
Uh,
I have I'm a little bit okay with the nose only because I tend to keep the nose pretty simple, but there's certain things, like certain ways an illustration or a person could be positioned where I'm like, okay, does it translate that they have a nose? Like how can I keep this simple? So it's really a lot of like what I'm doing now, like kind of just picking with stuff and seeing like, okay, do I like, adding something there? Do I want to add a shadow here? But yeah, it's really just sort of trial and error to figure out what you like. Um, but yeah, hands, ugh, I don't like it. It's one of those things that I definitely want to get better at. But I don't know. It takes practice.
It does.
See. My favorite tool is the Pathfinder.
Nice.
I kind of like that. I don't usually do that, but
So people are wondering, I think it's a couple of the same questions from yesterday that probably just joined. So what is your setup, your hardware like?
I have I'm using a Wacom tablet to draw. So like the medium Intuos Pro tablet. Did I say medium? Yeah, I think I said medium. And I have my laptop connected to a cinema display, which I think I may have mentioned this yesterday. I don't know, but I don't think you have to like buy them aftermarket because they don't make them anymore, but they're easy to find. I found one pretty easy, but I just needed like a display. What do I want to do with her lips? That's my setup. I've been thinking about upgrading myself to something. Maybe my MacBook, because I was having those issues yesterday and I was like, oh, maybe I should just
What year is your laptop again?
I think it's 2014. I have an issue with the new MacBooks. Well, I don't know if I still have it honestly, but at my previous corporate job, we switched over to the new MacBooks, but it was around the time we had a company retreat, and I just think it's bad news to do a tech switch like before. Basically, like before, imagine like switching all your tech before Adobe Max or something. And so for the retreat, we were doing a lot of production work, and so we were creating like a lot of presentations, and then we needed to give them to like these other production people, and there was a lot of files being transferred. And with the new ones, you don't have the ports, so I had like a million cables hanging because I needed like the Thunderbolt, I needed a USB cable, I needed to plug in this other hard drive. It was just too much, and I like the seamlessness of the older MacBooks, but at the same time, usually, Macs, they'll stay pretty good for a while. So this one has been holding me down for quite a while, but I'm like,
Yeah.
maybe it's time for a new one.
I hear you though, not wanting to like give up that freedom and not having
Right.
that USB-C adapter.
Yes. I'm like, I don't want all that.
Yes, it's just a lot. And even though the laptop's lighter, it's like all of these, different ports and different adapters you have to use. It just weighs it down and it's like hard to travel with.
Yes, that's gonna be my next point, because I overpack anyway. It's a problem. Getting better at it, but still, it's I'm like, I don't want to carry more stuff. And even now, like, I think when I travel, something as small as a hard drive can weigh your shoulder down if you're carrying a backpack or something. And so I'm just like, oh.
Yeah, I hear you. Catherine hears us too. She's like, the dongles are an issue. They are.
Yes. And it's the word dongle is so funny to me too. I'm like, I have all these dongles. And I'm like, I'm so sick of myself, like saying this and dealing with this and anything else. So like,
You know what? For the longest time, I thought dongle was a made up word for the thing. I didn't think it was real. Like
I did too.
Name this the dongle. I thought it was just like something that people were saying at the time. I was like, why did they name it a dongle?
Right. That's like and the person that said it to me at the time, I knew this person didn't really know anything about like tech for real. And so I was like, I think you're making up stuff, but
right.
They were
made up word.
It just weren't. Unfortunately, it's a real thing.
Oh man. Yeah. Looks like there's a lot of people that still rock the 2014.
It's the best one, honestly. It's undefeated. That's why I'm like, I don't want to get rid of it, but then I also like new things. So I don't know. And I think as a creative, someone who uses their computer as their livelihood, basically, I'm always nervous of what if my computer just crashed and I have like a week like this where I have a million different things to do. So is it, at some point, if you can afford to, is it smart to go ahead and upgrade and then still have something that's working pretty good in case, I don't know, like having a backup? That's something that always freaks me out when my laptop gives me problems, or like a couple weeks ago it was just running super hot, which I probably didn't restart it for like a week, and that's probably why. But I was like, do not do this to me. Do not crash. I have too much stuff, too many things to do, and I don't know what I would do with my life. Okay, I gotta get this all together.
I would cry.
Once and for all.
I would legit cry. And I'm not an emotional person, but that is just like a loss. That is just like, oh, well, what do you do?
Oh, I mean, that's, God willing, I haven't had like a major machine crash or like had stuff stolen out the car. And I'm very paranoid about leaving things in the car. Like I won't, like I will plan a day. Like if I need to go somewhere and I'm like, okay, I have a meeting and I may need to leave this in the car, I'll plan around all that in advance, because especially with my photographer friends, I've just seen too many stories of like cars being broken into and then you have all of your stuff gone. And I don't know what I would do. I don't know.
I know. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Just to think about that. Oh no.
Right.
Michelle, I had a 2014 map, but I spilled wine over it. Oh no.
Man, I've almost done that too. I've been there
so many times. And now she's having issues with her keyboard and memory, so she had to upgrade.
Oh.
So I feel you. Wine, as beautiful and lovely as it is, sometimes it just gets in the way. Fairy wanted to know if you can use your tablet with Photoshop. Have you worked with it? Yes?
Absolutely. You can use it with pretty much anything. Like sometimes I won't even be like working on any type of illustration or anything, and I'll just, have my tablet navigating the web or doing whatever. But I do also recommend the iPad. Like I recently just got into it actually through Adobe, and using the Illustrator for iPad app, which when does that actually release? Is it out? I meant to find it out.
Well, for the people on the line, no, just kidding. You can't tell you when it comes out. Just know it's coming out really soon.
Yes,
it's awesome. But I'm not going to tell you because obviously I'm biased. So I'll let Laci tell you.
Yes, and this is, again, it's not an ad. It's not because I'm on this platform, but a lot of people have been telling me to try the iPad just in general, with the existing Adobe apps. And I'm such a creature of habit that I was like, I don't know about Adobe Drive. Like I love Illustrator to the core. Like you cannot speak to me bad about Illustrator. And so when I got an iPad, I was like, no, I don't, like I need Illustrator. And so then that's when I had the opportunity to try it, and I'm a fan so far. Like I like it. I think once I have time in my schedule to really, really dive in, I may make somewhat of a switch to using that, especially for travel and different things. Like it's easy. I've been using it now for pieces that I already kind of started, and I'm like, I need to go in and like do stuff on the fly. But and I do commend you guys because you've been like updating stuff on the fly. So that is very.
Yes, our team has been, trying to work on a new product in a pandemic and, suddenly being stripped away of collaboration has been challenging.
I believe it.
For everyone. So, we're doing our best and we hope that the peeps are happy. So all y'all stay tuned for that. I know that was like a major teaser. We did not script that or intend for it to be that way.
Nope, it's just what's happening.
That's what's happening. We hope y'all like it. So wait, Laci, so you're a new iPad user in general. So
yes.
What are your thoughts on using a tablet versus just working with an iPad in general? Like, I know there's a lot of people like really love their setup. Like they're using a Cintiq, like they have like all of their stuff already put in place. And so they're like really reluctant to go to iPad and just start over. But since
Hmm.
you're kind of exploring that, how do you like it? How, like, what are the things you like or dislike, or, what's your
Why is
what's
it
your
not
take?
doing? Hmm. So, I mean, transparent wise, I think I need to spend more time with the iPad before I give like a definite, like this is what it is. But in general, I like that it's seamless. I like that it's all in one because I don't like carrying a bunch of stuff like that. That's my complaint with the new MacBook. Like I don't like all the I like the tech piece of it, but I don't like having to have all those cords and cables and dongles and things. And so same thing with traveling. If I can not have to take like like this whole setup and just have an iPad, that is perfect. I mean, it's basically also it's a computer too. So it's I can do everything in one spot. I just think for me it's just getting used to having like a new layout, a new art space, figuring out like where the tools are and like really spending time navigating that. But in general, I think that I could probably just go to using just the iPad at some point once I like give myself that time to actually figure it out. But I don't know. Tablets are cool. Like I've used a tablet my whole career. Like even before I started really doing a lot of illustration work or even with graphic design, I was using a Wacom. So I'm sort of like true to it, but I'm open to trying new things. But like having an iPad and just having something that, because I don't use a fatigue, I have the Intuos Pro. So having something I can literally like hold close to me like a notebook and just draw versus having to sit how I'm sitting now. I don't know. It's something that's cool about it. It feels more intimate, I guess is the best way to put it. But I like it. All I need, which I need to open the iPad. My only major critique is that I could only use like two colors in the gradients. That was like literally when I did my project, I was like, that's it. That's the only thing I have issue with. And that's also because I'm a color girl, so I want to use 55 colors and everything.
I'm surprised we haven't got any color questions today. I feel like yesterday all the questions were about your color choices and the palettes you like to use.
They may come up.
They will, because I just, let the cat out the bag.
Right.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I love this color in general. I will never be bold enough to dye my hair this color, but I really like it.
You never know. You might have like one of those like life moments where you're like, I kind of like the equivalent of a woman cutting off all her hair. Like I'm ready for something new.
I feel like that's the only place I haven't gone with my hair. I've cut it off, so I've done the chop. I used to dye my hair like every 3 months. So I had some like crazy colors in there, but nothing like green or blue or purple, like going even the extra level. So we'll see. Who knows? We're still at home. I might just,
Right.
why not?
Hey, I'm here for it. I think that's one of the most magical things about like especially black hair is that you can
Mm-hmm.
do whatever you want. You can switch it up and become a whole new person. It's taking everything out of me not to cut my hair back off, but I might.
If we keep getting this strange, sad global warming type weather, then I don't know.
Jesus Christ, yeah, it is.
I'm off.
It is hot. Like did I even go outside yesterday? I'm trying to think. I did. I know in the morning time I did, but I think I may have gotten coffee and that was it. Like no, I don't know. I think it's supposed to cool down maybe this weekend, but
So I hope so. So I I am really fascinated with how different illustrators like that specifically do a lot of work with will like do a lot of caricatures that are surrounded by Black and minority
Mm-hmm.
people and like what type of techniques they use to like make the hair, like make different hair textures and like experiment. And I
Cool.
these different techniques, which is so cool that like, you know, everybody kind of has their own thing. So
Yes.
how do you imagine these characters like before you like get into Illustrator and then what are some of the tools you use to kind of make it come to life?
Oh, that's a hard one. Hair texture is very, very hard. And honestly, I don't know who told me this. And it's something I've heard multiple times, honestly, which is um trying to like doing less. Like you create something and then you take away from it and see like what's left. And when it comes to hair textures, I have to do that because a lot of the times, like if I want to show braids, I'm like, oh, you want like that, like you want to feel that texture of like a box braid, like you want to make sure it translates. But then my work is finding that balance between like how do I keep it simple but keep it effective and then keep it to where it's not totally flat and like dimensional. So it has some dimension to it. And so for me, I always try to like find the most basic shape, or maybe I'll create something that's complex and then just like break it down. So like, what's the most simple shape I can use to create this idea of texture to where it's like movement or different things. And so that's how I've navigated, but it's still hard. It was something that I wanted to show um that I couldn't figure out how to do. Oh, it was finger waves. And I could like even this like little portion of hair, like this reminds me of finger waves. And of course, like, you gotta have like a sideburn. But I used to wear finger waves when my hair was a pixie cut. So I was like, how do I actually bring in like the movement around? And I could not figure it out. And it was just one of those things where I'm like, okay, one day I'm gonna have to sit down and see it. I've seen other people translate it in different ways, but I wanted to really just explore and figure out how can I create that movement in a way that feels like movement. So sometimes I'm stumped and I'm like, I don't know how to do this, and then I'll just switch up the plan. Um, but it's usually playing around with how can I create this look in the most simple form, because usually less is more, other than trying to like overcomplicate it.
Right.
But
Uh,
it can be a little challenging from time to time.
Yeah, it's always interesting to see how people interpretate that and show it. And it looks like it's pretty simple. Like you started with basic shapes, but then you focus on like the details, like that's
Hmm.
out like this is actually what the style is. So
And actually, and like color too, I think especially for something like braids, like I could probably show you I think I did an illustration recently with some braids. I'm trying to think what project it was and like can I find it. Um but even like, let's say we got to give sis a mullet, but don't worry girl, I'll take it away. And this is just like janky, but give you an example. Like, let's say I want her to appear as if like it's, and again, it's like janky because it's not even a hairstyle for braids, but here we are. Like even like creating like that movement with color.
right.
So like if this was something that was like flowing kind of around this area, like over her, or like on her back. I love salon box braids. It's a way that you can create the idea that they're like these single different braids, but then just using different hues of the same color. Um,
Yep.
and
Yep.
depending on, because a lot of the times I might do like have like true black and then kind of like go up a little bit. So it's finding the color that is sort of next to black, but then light enough so where you can actually see it's a difference. That makes sense. So then you got that one. I'm gonna drop. So maybe something like that, or even bringing in like a it's like a little ombre situation.
I know. I'm like digging the look.
Like her braid mullet. So like even doing things like this, or of course like creating, giving it like a little definition.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good technique. I really
Something like that.
like, yeah, you can really like pull out braid mullet.
Yes. Okay, girl, I'll take your braid mullet away. I won't do you like that today. Okay, I think I
Oh,
like
that's
her.
the new look. That's the new vibe. Is a braid
Right.
mullet.
And there's somebody who can like pull it off for sure, like a Zendaya or a
Hmm.
Ryan Destiny or somebody who's just super fly. But me, I know my lane.
Eddie says business in the front, party in the back.
Yay. And that's the best way to go, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, and it's fitting. We're all talking to screens nowadays. So,
Right. I mean, and wow, like you can literally get away with so much now. It's as far as like being on different like work calls and your appearance. And I mean, I'm definitely a victim of the quarantine 15, or well, it was a quarantine 20, honestly, but I've been getting better. It's
we're all in this together. We're
yes.
brave mullets and our quarantine 15, and
Yeah.
we're in this together. There's no shame.
At some point I was like, who am I? Like, who is this? What do I even look like anymore? It's a hot mess.
I know, it's okay though. Eddie, you had an interesting question earlier. Oh, he was wondering, so how are you getting, I think this is when you were doing the hair,
Mhm.
you were getting the curves to match the shape underneath, and if you were using the snapping.
Yeah, using the what was I using? The pen tool? Yeah. So pretty much, which I think I said this yesterday, there may be like easier ways to do this. I think I'm one of those people that I learned the program and then I just kept the old school way, which is something I need to fix. But yeah, I just pretty much go around the shape I already made using the pen tool. So, and then, bringing in the curves.
Hmm.
And I've played with shapes so long that I kind of know where to put the point, to where to stop it, to where I know how to curve it, if that makes sense. Um, but that's how I did that.
Oh, these folks are funny in this chat.
What are they saying?
We're still on the braid mullet.
Hey, it's still over here, just in case.
No,
In case we got to bring it back. Which honestly, it could be a braided ponytail. Let me see.
right. It could be like a slicked ponytail. Like
Right.
you slick
Like,
your
let
hair.
me let me see what I can do for her.
Eddie says he's rocking slippers, gym shorts with the business colored shirt.
Listen, that at this point, I'm surprised people are even like dressed at the bottom. Like it's been plenty of calls where I'm like, I have to remember not to stand up from this chair. Like it is hard.
I mean, if someone isn't already, someone needs to like write a book or do like an illustrated book would be really cool. Of just like all of the weird things we've adopted in this time.
Yes, Jesus.
Me-
I mean, we are living in some unseen moments.
Oh yeah, someone's got to do it. If it's not already being done, I'm gonna push that challenge out to the Adobe Live community. Someone come up with like a illustration or a book or a comic of just all of the crazy things that we've been doing.
Yes, it's I'm sure so many similarities. Like it, man. She
Right.
could have a little braid thing in the back. I think I like her short hair, but I might keep her mullet on the side. Just
The Malay on the side. I really like it. Keep feeling this look.
and it's like the I'm not even like trying with these lines. I gotta if I do it, I have to like really I gotta commit. Let me see. Because I do kind of like this piece. Okay. Ooh.
Right. I don't know.
And this is really how I work too, because I mean, if I have time, like this is fun, and it's no pressure for me to do anything particular. But there are times where I'm just like, ooh, like I feel like a hairdresser. Like, okay, so where am I gonna put her baby hair? It's like what am I gonna do? So that's kind of how I'm feeling right now. I'm like,
Right, community, we need a vote. We need either the pixie cut or the braid mullet. I think I already know what people are gonna go with.
The braid mullet. And I mean, I like this one braid. I could probably like pump it up a little bit and play with it, but I'll get to that. I'll come back to it.
I do like the one braid look now. It's very cute. Oh, I love this. Oh my goodness, time is flying today. So we have just over 45 minutes until doing design feedback. So again, if you didn't catch the Daily Creative Challenge, we had Voodoo Val, one of my friends. She was explaining the Daily Creative Challenge, and you are doing a calling card in reference to superheroes using Adobe Capture and Photoshop. So make sure you do that and send us the design. Just go to behance.com and submit it in the Creative Challenge tab so we can check it out. And Laci's going to give you some good advice and tell you how your design is. So make sure you guys do that. You have a little over 45 minutes. Should be a pretty quick one, and we'll take a look at those later today. Ooh, okay. I came back from that, and now I'm seeing this like cute Greek goddess choker.
Yes, since she's coming to life.
I love this. This is like a Greek like warrior look. I'm digging it. I'm digging it a lot.
I like it. That eye is still a little sketchy. I don't like it. It's something about it that is not sitting well with me, but I keep picking with it. Maybe it's in these smoother lines. I don't know. There was something. Okay, Voodoo Val. I love her name, and I want to know everything about her. I need to look her up after this. I heard you say her name earlier, and I was like, I love that.
Voodoo Val is so fun. It's funny because I've seen her on Adobe Live like many times, and I never met her in person. And then literally right before all of this happened and we had to be stuck indoors, I think I was at work at the Adobe building in San Francisco, and I was just having lunch with my coworkers, and she just came out of nowhere and she was like, Jasmine. And then we just had this like, you know, when you meet someone, you talk to someone online and you feel like a friendship with them because you do. And then you meet them for the first time. It's like your long lost sister.
You're like, hey girl. Yes, I've been there. It's a few people who I've talked to on the internet for so long that I forget that we've never met each other. And then we finally meet and I'm like, I can't believe we're just now meeting one another.
I feel like that's going to be all of 2021. Like,
yes. God willing. I'm like, just let me do something. Let me do something. I want to visit the Adobe campus. How like is it like similar to like tech companies where you have everything at your disposal and it's actually hard to leave work?
Yeah, it's certainly like that. Adobe is it's a really interesting, fun little tech nugget. I feel like we're very unique, in regards to other tech companies. There's like a lot of, as you can imagine, a lot of creative people that have interesting passions and hobbies outside of their day job.
Right.
And like we do have a lot of events, so Adobe people like to have fun. We I'm actually part of a band at Adobe.
What do you play? Tell us everything.
I sing, and I you can't tell because my voice is terrible right now. I lost my
No,
voice
it sounds good.
on the stream. But I sing and I've been learning bass, but we do have a bass.
Oh,
My plan is to steal his spotlight, but he's so amazing. That's never going to happen. So, anywho, but
have
we
you
have a little band.
have you always been a singer?
I actually have. I've been singing since I was 3. And I started writing pretty early on. I really loved English growing up, and I loved poetry. So I would write a lot just to kind of express my feelings.
I love that.
Growing up as a teenager, all your emotions like,
All your feelings.
this boy didn't like me.
Right. You grow up and I'm like, what? Like now I don't even acknowledge anyone I talk to
Right.
in high school. It's like I talked to you in high school, it didn't count.
Didn't count. You broke my heart. You liked my friend. It's all those like,
Right. It's all the things and you're like you look up and you're like 31, like, oh, nothing even matters.
yeah. It's like, oh, that's what you look like now.
Oh
Cool.
man, right. Wow. Yeah, the rise and the fall.
We have a lot of little fun clubs at Adobe. Like we're like a bunch of kids sometimes. We just need our fix outside of work. So yeah, you gotta come visit. You gotta stream at the Adobe Live Studio. It's super fun and have lunch with us.
I listen, don't like you only have to tell me once. I will come visit and
Oh,
hang out.
please. Oh, so somebody asked, what's our band name? Great question. So we don't have an official band name. We have a band name that Adobe gave us, but we want to branch out. So if you happen to have any good band names, drop or just drop a suggestion in the Slack, because this is actually a very active conversation I'm having with my band members, because we just got our like remote setups and we're learning how to jam virtually. So we need all the help we can get with coming up with a name. So let me know. Let me know if you have some good suggestions.
How many people are in a band?
We have 6 of us. It's me, singer, bass player, guitarist, drummer, 2. Yeah, so we have 6. We have 2 keyboardists actually, and it's cool because we're all very diverse. Besides myself and our bass player, everyone's kind of come from all around the world. So
Ooh.
our guitarist is from Colombia/France. Both of our keyboardists are from France. Our drummer's from the UK. I'm from the States. And then my bassist is also from the States, but he's from the South. I'm from the West Coast. So it's just like all walks of life coming.
Yes, it's a good variety.
Yeah, it's really cool. Cool dudes. So yeah, drop some names. If you guys have any suggestions, I need your help.
I want to see a live performance.
Eddie said band name Anchor Points.
Oh my God.
Can't. Oh my gosh.
I don't know what color I want her hair to be. I'm just doing stuff.
Okay, so now someone is saying they're getting the Cleopatra vibes, and I am getting these Cleopatra vibes.
Yes. Once I figure out, excuse me, what color I want her hair to be, I am at a loss. And as you, let's see. Let me see what I want to choose between. I kind of like the blue. Let's see. Let's do a poll. I like a poll. Let me gather my options.
Okay, everyone, we need a color poll.
And I may bring back her ponytail. I haven't decided yet.
I do like this goddess vibe because she's going to be surrounded by like plants and nature. Like it all comes together. It's looking really good. Hey, Dan. Dan's on the line.
Dan the man. Let's see.
All right.
Oh, no.
You got some.
No.
What colors are you thinking?
I'm really just like choosing things and seeing like what, because usually it's like I don't know, it's like a feeling. Like I'll get a color and I'm like, yep, that's it. And I'm not getting the feeling yet. I'm like, what color? And sometimes when this happens, it may be that it isn't the color that I'm focusing on. It could be the color of something else. So it might be like, okay, maybe I give her red hair and then change the lip, or maybe I just, change the color of the ear. Maybe something else. But I'm trying to figure out what is it that I like and don't like about the color options that I have right now. Let's see. And then sometimes I'm just like, it's too many options. I don't know.
We're getting some folks saying mint green.
I was kind of with the mint green. Maybe let's see.
Mint green too. Ariana said, "Aw, no more braid mullet."
Wait, with the braid, listen, the braid is right here, just in case.
Right off to the side.
Yeah.
Ready?
Ready for whatever. Ready to party.
Right. Exactly. That's the whole idea of the braid mullet. You attach it when you're ready to have the party.
Right.
Yep.
Marboard.
Well, the red looks kind of cool too.
And that red is one of my favorite colors. I have on red lipstick. I've been deprived of my red lipstick days. I usually wear it almost every day, and then wearing red lipstick with a mask is just
no, that's
too much.
They're waiting to happen, especially if you don't have the quick dry, because then you might wear your mask and just
and something. And it's been so many times where I take off my mask and I'm like, do I have lipstick on my face? And the person's like, no. And I look in the mirror and I'm like, I don't know how you missed it. Okay, how are we feeling about these four?
Okay.
Anybody has feedback, which I'm kind of liking the mint green, what I had initially.
Okay, everyone, give us your picks. We got the blue, we got the orange, we got the red, and we got mint. So let us know which color choice you're digging. I think I'm trying to stick with my eyes right now and like what they're gravitating towards. And I think my eyes are going to the red. Ooh. and the blue, surprisingly, even though I love that you started with that mint and I love the mint, but now when you put all four of them next to each other, my eye gravitates towards the true blue.
It's hard. This is the situation I'm always in of like, which color?
I know. Maybe she should just be a twin.
Well, okay. We can play with that concept. We're gonna see what our people say. And then
so we got 2 votes, 3 votes for orange, 1 vote for mint, 2 votes for blue. So right now orange is killing it. Now we have another vote for mint, so 2 for mint, 4 for blue. I don't know how I'm keeping track of all these.
I don't know.
So it looks like it's a close race between orange and blue. We got another 2 coming in for red. So red, there's 3 votes, but still orange and blue are taking the show right now. Eddie threw out purple, which I know isn't there, but
could be. Actually, let's investigate.
Investigation in progress, y'all.
That's one color I mentioned it yesterday that I weirdly have certain colors that I'm always gravitating to and that I want to start incorporating colors that I don't use as much. And purple is one of those colors. I'm not a big, I kind of like that. Whew, okay, well, it's another option, y'all. So
Okay.
now, now we have purple. Oops.
Yeah, let's see what purple looks like. Everyone's waiting to see what. Oh,
Do people like purple?
I don't know. I'm waiting for. Tell us what you think about the latest. Do we like purple or do we still like blue and orange? The purple does look pretty cool. Okay, so we got 1 yes to purple. So 2 votes for purple. I feel like the contrast is there, like having either the blue or the orange and then adding the purple, which kind of speaks to, it's like a little bit more like subtle pastel.
Right.
I think.
Which one is in the lead now?
Okay, so now we're getting people coming through for the purple. So we got 3 purple, 4 purple. Someone says both. Both which one? Do we want purple and blue? Purple and orange? And okay, so now we're getting votes for purple and blue as the combination, if we do the combination.
Okay. As you see, I'm doing all types of stuff. I have a lot of ideas that are like flying through my head right now, and I'm like, well, maybe because okay, so this is weirdly how things work too. So I just had these two sitting off to the side like this, but I actually like the distance between the two.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, maybe this is the thing. Let's see.
Someone still likes the blue and the red because the yin and the yang.
Ooh.
Yeah. Eddie's too close to each other. They need to be 6 feet apart.
Facts though.
Hurry!
They do.
All of the jokes. I think blue and purple are still in the lead though.
Wow, I kind of like red too.
Yeah. Mahir, I hope I'm saying that correct, said maybe invert the blues. That could be an interesting play.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I love this overlap.
Me too. It's
so the twins is coming through.
Right.
We might have twins, or it could be like a metaphor for reflection.
Oh, I like the way you think. And then I don't know where I gotta bring in the flowers at some point too. I'm trying to see what do I want? What do I want? It's so many good ideas.
Okay, I will be right back. I am going to hop to the restroom. 1 second, friends.
All good. Let's see, y'all. I can't see the chat, so I'm pretty much just talking to myself right now. Okay, y'all. I
am back. Sorry.
Hey, girl.
You know what? It's real life. I literally had UPS knock on my door just now.
I heard it. I've been thinking about that too because I'm also expecting a package, and I'm like, that's why I'm glad I had to make sure I put on something at the bottom just in case. I like randomly had to get up, but
oh my gosh, this is the world we live in. It's okay. All right, so how are we? Oh, I do like the red, and I like it against this orange background too.
Me too. I think we're gonna keep all these here, but I'm gonna start off with playing with her. Let me see how this mullet is working. My florals. And as you see, this is like how messy my process is. Like I keep stuff all off the artboard. Like usually when I do a project, I'll have like the sketch or like the design file, and then I have the delivery file. So my design file will look like this, and then I'll clean it up for the client whenever I get ready to deliver.
Honestly, I feel like a lot of our artboards look like this. I mean, in a professional
Right.
environment, we like tidy it up and make it look good. But I think majority of us know what this process is like. You know, you
Yes.
just have things available, experiment, throw things in, take things out. No shame, no shame in the work setup.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. So time is just flying. So we have less than 30 minutes, y'all, for your design feedback. Make sure if you're just joining us, we had Val do the daily creative challenge earlier this morning. She covered what you guys are going to be doing. You're making a calling card for a superhero or supervillain. I forgot to point that out. I actually like the villain idea, so maybe take the villain take.
Me
But
too.
yeah, just a little like, and we're getting close to Halloween. So,
Oh, yes.
yes. So make sure you guys submit those on behance.com. You just go to the challenge tab, submit your work, and Laci and I will give you some feedback on those. So make sure you guys do that.
Time is flying by, and I feel like yesterday when my computer was acting crazy, time was going so slow.
I know.
And I'm like, now that everything is just smooth,
Now,
time wants to fly by.
right. You're in your element and time wants to just go.
Right. It's
Um,
all good.
I just made myself sad that Halloween is coming up and we might very well just be kicking it at home.
No, 100. We're definitely gonna be kicking it. And it is sad. I was joking over the weekend because I saw a woman last week walking down the street with a pumpkin, and like with the little pumpkin
Little bag, the little
yeah.
can.
And for a second, especially since time, like what is time these days, I was like, is it October? And I was thinking like, no, but it's coming and it probably won't be a Halloween, which is,
I know. I feel bad for the kids. It's
I
like
know.
gonna have to do some type of like virtual trick or treating. Like maybe, okay, this is a project, y'all. If you guys are listening, I have a lot of ideas all the time. A lot of them are not great, but some of them something. But maybe all of the delivery companies like DoorDash, Uber Eats, like they do, I don't know, like maybe they deliver candy to the kids.
Oh, I think that's a good idea.
Right?
And if they do it, they owe you a check for your ideation.
Right. Thank you. Please don't say that, guys. We're all friends here. We can collaborate.
Like,
And maybe you
hey,
tip the drivers. You tip the drivers and they deliver candy to your kids. And it's like reverse trick or treating almost.
I like that.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll all work it out.
The kids definitely need something. Like,
I know. Their whole year has just been a mess. Like, I feel so bad.
I know it's in general, like the world is. It's been a crazy year thinking about like the graduations and they're canceled, the weddings, the
Hmm.
just stuff. Like,
Yeah. Yep. That's why the creative community, we got to come up with these solutions. They need us.
yes.
They need us now more than ever.
Hmm.
April said braid mullet. Like literally this is going to be something trending at some point.
I'll put it right here just for her as I figure out the rest of what's happening here. So I'm pretty much figuring out how I want to do the floral piece. Like, do I, because I kind of like this. Okay, this braid mullet has to sit right here. It was like distracting me. I like the idea of like having sort of this like monochromatic thing going on,
Yeah.
and blending into the different colors, but still keeping the shape. That's why I like this, so because you can still see the roundness of her head, but it's blending into the background color. So I'm sort of thinking like, do I want to sort of keep that going with the floral piece, or is that where I want to bring in additional colors? So I'm just sort of just poking around.
Yeah.
seeing what I want to do.
I like the monochromatic theme, and then you have that like pop of blue in there and this orange.
Let's see where this takes us. May not take us anywhere, who knows.
Let us know if you guys have any questions for Laci, as we're fastly approaching time. Because what is time these days?
At this point, I have no idea.
What is time? What is the concept of time? Let us know. Laci has been doing a lot of really cool stuff. She just launched a Skillshare platform. She's doing a lot of work with different brands. You're all over the place.
I'm tired. It's a blessing for sure.
You certainly need your Joshua Tree retreat. Slow period.
I am aggressively looking for a time where I can go. I'm like talking to my manager, like, let me know what dates on the calendar I can go. But we'll see.
Nice.
We will see.
Oh, we have some folks in here that completed your Skillshare class.
Hey.
I'm gonna have to take it. I haven't taken any classes on Skillshare, but I love
Skillshare.
I know, I love the platform. I really do. And I just haven't had time to sit and I have a bunch of friends who have Skillshare classes as well. And I'm like, ooh, like Laci, ooh, Dan, oh,
yes.
Like, oh, I want to take one of these classes. So, we'll see. We'll get some downtime.
I love it. Like it was literally a full circle moment because I've been on Skillshare probably since it started. And it's grown so much as a platform, like the different things that you can take, all that good jazz.
All right. Oh, we got questions. Oh, this is a good question. So Jerry asks, when did you get a manager? And I feel like this is a question that like my colleagues have been asking, like just when we talk about different influencers and like designers and just kind of like working with designers, when is it appropriate, or when do you feel like you needed to get a manager, and like what does a manager do for you? Like what are the benefits of having one?
That is such a good question because I knew about management because I worked at a talent agency. That was my last job. I worked at CAA, so I knew about like how managers and agents work. But for me, I was just like, do I need a manager? Like I didn't understand how it translated to. I understood how it translated to fine art, but not me. I just couldn't. I couldn't put it together. But I would have different conversations with friends about all the things I have going on, and everyone was like, "You need a manager," and I'm like, "I'm not that big. I don't know what level you need to be for a manager, but I just did not think I was on it." And a friend of mine was like, she was basically preaching like, "You need a manager." And she's like, "I have a friend who she manages, or she has a background in management," and so I had a meeting with my now manager Ari, and we both tell similar stories of like when we came to the meeting, we weren't going in with the intention of leaving and being like, oh, I have a manager, or like, oh, she wants to manage somebody. It was literally like our friend connected us. So we're both doing it for our friend. Like, okay, I don't need a manager. I'm not that important. Like, it's not that deep. Met her and immediately hit it off in regards of what my goals are and things and different places that I want to go, and her background and the things that she's interested in and things she has expertise in. There, you can have a manager, and this is just my opinion. So don't take it with a grain of salt. But from what I've seen, especially working in a talent agency and then also just doing what I'm doing, is you can have a manager, and the manager is a person who essentially manages all your projects. So when a client comes and they submit something on your website, email you, ideally it will go straight to the manager or you'll forward it, and then that person will have direct contact with all the clients. So essentially you will have more time to just create, and you're not taking a bunch of phone calls, or like, because a lot of the times a client will send you a thorough PDF, a deck or something of the project, but still want to get on a call. So it eliminates at least some of that. Like I'm rarely on initial phone calls unless it's something where the project is like a little complicated, or maybe it's something like terms we've never seen before, or because we're all learning too. Like Ari isn't an illustrator, so it's certain things that she's like, okay, like what does this mean, and like, how figuring out how to price things or whatever. So um for management, that's what that person does. They manage the clients, they manage making sure you get your money on time. Um and that's a big piece of it, because as a creative, if you're doing it all yourself, you're taking the calls, you're finding time to work on projects, you're tracking down your invoices, you're calling, having to like probably threaten people to give you your money. It's a lot of different things. So her and her team, she actually runs a creative agency. So she has project managers and people who are already in place. So it pretty much worked out because I just went fluid into her business. And then you have the piece of it that is the agent part, which usually these two roles are separate. Like I mentioned, I just happen to find a great person who is really a combination of both. So your agent is a person who is actively seeking jobs for you. They're trying to figure out what the opportunities are, like, what are different things you can do. Like if you're pitching a lot, they can be helpful in that. And it's really just figuring out what you need, like what your needs are. For me, somebody who is unorganized and I'm overwhelmed because I have all like these great work opportunities, there's all this stuff. I knew once I got Ari, I was like, I don't know how I would have done this alone at this point. But it's good to have someone who can help you out. And again, on the agent piece, someone that is actively looking for work. And we, in my situation, my manager is definitely more than capable of doing that. And since she does have her own business, there are times where I also work within her business. So she may have her client that needs something, and I'm like, well, hire your client. So it kind of works in that way. But yeah, she's a unicorn for sure. But it's hard to say when you need a manager, because when I got a manager, I didn't think I needed a manager at the time, and I was proven wrong. So kind of go with your gut. If people are mentioning it, or if you're feeling overwhelmed, start investigating, what that looks like. There are a lot of great agencies that represent designers and illustrators. I've definitely seen a lot of different people floating around. So it's a thing where you kind of have to fight imposter syndrome too, because I'm like, what am I doing? Is that important for a manager? And then now I'm like, I need you. Like, I don't want to do the stuff anymore. So
I feel like that was so helpful for a lot of people, because even for me, like I deal with managers a lot in my day job, and I always wonder, like, I know that they do a lot of like the agents do a lot of the management with clients, etc. So I always wondered kind of like what the scope of their responsibilities were. And I think that's so helpful in even both pieces, like having a manager to help you like have more time to create is crucial. And then, having an agent where, especially in times like this, where, we're all just kind of trying to make do with what we have. And if you have an agent that can just go out there and make opportunities happen, like that's also
right. It is a blessing for sure. And it's one of those things that you have to also being honest with yourself too, because I'm the type of person who, if I know I'm capable of doing something, I will try to force it. And so for me, like I said, it was I was like, do I really need a manager or do I just need to like tighten up and organize? And at the end of the day, I kept saying I was going to organize. I kept saying I was going to do certain stuff, and it just wasn't happening. I had to be honest with myself of like, these things aren't happening. You aren't doing it. So you might need someone to help you. And then it's also weird because I'm used to talking to clients. I have clients that I can tell that, they're used to talking to me as well. So when they hit me up for a project, I'm like, oh, I have a team. They're like, wait, what? So there are definitely adjustment periods. But if you think it's that time, then at least investigate it.
Right.
It's worth the investigation. So now I'm just like throwing a bunch of stuff together. I haven't colored it yet, obviously, but I'm just sort of seeing like how I want all these things to sort of live together. Because there's some flowers that now that I'm putting them in the composition, I don't like as much.
Someone had and this is probably a up to you to disclose type of question, but I think they're curious about like what are the percentages like for having an agent or a manager, and obviously we're in tough times right now, so I'm sure very lenient
Yeah.
then with everything going on, but up to you if you want to just
Listen, managers still want their check. But honestly, one thing I would say is, like in the very beginning, like again, like grasping the idea of a manager, I was like, am I making enough money to give anybody a percentage of anything? Um, but I quickly noticed that the the more time you have to put into the craft and the less time you spend doing other stuff, the quicker you also work. So I'm able to do more because I don't have to deal with all the other stuff. So that means I'm bringing in more too because I'm working a lot quicker than I was. Um, and for me, like not having to do all that stuff, I would gladly give my money. Like I would like take it, you deserve it, because I'm sure everyone in the chat knows from working with different clients, it can be a lot. And even doing it by myself, I've literally had to like threaten companies of like, I will air it out on Twitter, like give me my money. It's been almost a year. And it's just certain things where I'm like, and I'm stressed out about that, trying to do that, and then trying to do work and all these different things. So I think it is an investment that I will do over and over again. As far as percentages, it honestly depends. I've seen a lot of companies that have approached me of like, we represent illustrators, say like we want to take usually between like lowest, I've seen maybe like 8 to 10%. Highest is 30. I think that's too high for again, my opinion. Take it with a grain of salt. I think 30 is too high um for like a management percentage. Maybe for something else, like if you let's say you're coming up with merch and your manager puts in the production of the merch and then you split a percentage, I might see it more for that. But for management, I would say lowest probably 8, and I don't like, that's just what I've seen. And highest that I would feel comfortable with is probably like 20%. And that's for new clients. A thing I would keep in mind is existing clients, which means that you already did the work to get this to work with this person. They're reoccurring or whatever. And then that could be a cheaper percentage. So let's say your manager gets 15% of your new clients, then maybe your existing clients you do 8%. To be very honest, and it's so funny because I don't know if Ari is watching this or not. Like we had our percentages set between like new and existing clients. And again, I'm just so satisfied with her work and what she's doing that a lot of times, even if it is an existing client, it still feels like a new thing. So I would just keep the same percentage like across the board. That's me. I know I don't have to do that. It's just what I feel like she deserves. And again, like even my existing clients, they come back and it's something that was not existing before. So it depends on what this person is doing too. Like for me, I've never worked with like a big agency, like a illustration agency that's representing me or anything. So with having a manager that I directly have contact with all the time, it's really, it develops, it's a business and it's a friendship too. So I like the fact that I can, like lean on her. I can call her, like if, dealing with clients stuff, I can vent, it's just, and when you're working with the agency, again, I don't know if I haven't done it. I feel like it would be harder to have that connection. It's just like, it feel like it'll probably be more of a business transaction versus having that person. Um, but yeah, I personally, I wouldn't go higher than probably like 25%, but it also depends on what you're doing and the level of projects and money and everything else. Like maybe if you're into fine art and you're selling paintings at like a crazy price, maybe that percentage can change. I don't know, but that's my 2 cents. I'm also still learning a lot about this world and how they operate, just business, honestly, which is a part of the stuff they don't tell you about. But
Oh yeah, they don't teach you that in art school.
oh man, I'm like, oh, I recommend, some sort of business. It doesn't even necessarily have to be a course. A lot of the times we all have that friend that has just been in business or like just knows things. Like tap into those people who know that stuff, because they can definitely be helpful. Okay, I need to figure out what color I want to do this.
All right, fam, we're getting so close to design feedback, so you still have a little bit of time to submit those. Everybody is loving that discussion, by the way, Laci.
Yay. It's something that needs to be discussed, because I literally knew nothing. Like I knew it from, ooh, I kind of like this. I knew it from the agency standpoint, from working at CAA and understanding like just like how celebrities operate in entertainment. And that's how I figured out like, oh, okay, there's a difference between an agent and a manager, because let's say like Beyonce, well, I'm not gonna use Beyonce. Well, I mean, Beyonce has a manager. Like Beyonce has someone, at least I think so. She has someone who manages her, but then she also has agents in different areas to help her get different type of work. And of course, this is like a grand example, but like, she may have her music agent that handles tours, distribution, all that stuff. Then you have your like MP agent, like motion pictures. So if she's in a film or anything, and then you have your television agent who handles like all things television. So that's what really helped me understand that. And at that time, I wasn't taking myself seriously to that level of like, I need a manager. But then when the conversation came up, I had that little piece of education. But he said, if you find a good manager, that person will literally, I mean, calendar, and like everything. And I'm so grateful for my team, because like they'll literally call me, especially like times like this where I'm working a whole lot. And we were talking about this before the call, like sleep is far and few between. So like yesterday I took a nap and set my alarm for the wrong time. And luckily somebody called me like, hey girl, you're supposed to be on the call. I'm like, thanks, because I'm knocked out. I'm tired. So it's good. It's good for multiple reasons, but I recommend, again, it's trial and error, and it's really finding the right person. So yeah,
it's another relationship. Like
yes,
and
you have to build trust and all that good stuff. So it's hard, but it's worth it.
Yeah, I feel like, so we have 5 minutes, a little less than 5 minutes. I think we have time for one more question. I saw it. Where'd it go? Oh, Fairy. Fairy has a really good question. So he's asking advice on what should he do when facing a client who says that their pricing is too high. And this is something that, oh my goodness, I feel like I've had multiple conversations with just friends, and when they work with brands and with businesses. And so what do you usually do in those instances if someone comes back and says like, hey, your prices are too high, are you willing to negotiate? And you believe that, obviously this is the price that you're your worth and your work is worth. So how do you handle those situations?
Right. My first question is like, are my prices too high or is your budget too low? That's the question. So it's okay. So the first question would be, how attached are you to the project, and are you okay with walking away from it, or is it something where you're like, I actually want to do it? If you want to do it, again, like, and I'm just, it's a lot of different scenarios and a lot of different roles that this could take. So let's say you want to do the project, and let's say the terms are, we're going to pay you $10,000. We want full ownership of everything for like lifetime rights. We want you to sign an exclusivity clause, like all this different stuff, but the budget isn't there. My first thing would be, if I wanted to take it, I would renegotiate those terms, because a lot of the time, and one thing that I've learned, luckily with the manager, is licensing and ownership is really where you can, that's where you need to like charge your dollar for sure. Because if, let's say Google wants you to do an illustration, they say they want to keep it forever, that means they have the right to put that illustration on everything and like make profit off of it. And of course, you won't make the amount of money that they'll make, but it's also finding a fee that makes you feel okay with the fact that they could use this, and you could like wake up one morning and it's on a billboard or like whatever, that they're again getting revenue for. So if the budget isn't there, the client at least has to meet my terms. That means I may not give you full ownership. I may give you like if it's a campaign, I may give you the duration of the campaign time, or I may say like, hey, you can use this for 6 months, and then we got to renegotiate the terms if you want to keep it. That's one thing I would look at. Two, I would figure out if there's anything else I want from them, if there's anything else they can help me with. And an example is, let's say Adobe wants to hire me for something and the budget isn't there, which I will say Adobe has budget. And let's say budget is not there. But I'm like, hey, I use your products. So along with this, I want to request 2 years of free Adobe Creative Cloud. Like, you can find different ways to add, because then that's going to take away from the monthly fee that you have to pay. So you're saving more money. Right. So things like that. Any project that I take on, if it's a product attached, I'm asking for it. I just did a project with Just Water that's coming out, and they literally I've been working so much, I have like 3 bottles of water like right here, because in anything I'm like, I want, and I love water. I drink so much water and I really love their brand. And so along with my compensation, I'm like, hey, can I get some cases of water? Or, like working with Tampax and saying like, hey, can I get some tampons? Because that takes away from that monthly stuff that I'm paying anyway. So that's an example. And one more example is going into how they can help you. So one is product, and two, let's say let's say you're working with Adobe and you really want to do this project, the budget isn't there for whatever reason, but you're also putting together, on your free time, you're putting together a small scholarship fund for a community in your hometown or something. That's the moment when I'd be like, hey, so I'm working on this project that I feel like is right in line with your core values, or should be. I'm putting together this scholarship in my hometown. I really would like to bless this person with 5 years of Adobe Creative Cloud. Can you commit to helping me in this endeavor? And again, to me, that's a win-win situation, because they're doing something for good and they're helping you and empowering you past just paying you, but who you are as a person and like what you believe in. So I always think it's an ask for something, like closed mouths don't get fed. It's always a way you can like negotiate something, or kind of put a client in your pocket for a future project. If you're like, hey, I have this self-initiated project that I want to do, and I need funding, or like I need something, and your brand may be in alignment with it. Can you help sponsor this whenever I do it? So, or you can just say I'm not taking it because it's too low. That's also an option. If you have that option and you just don't feel comfortable with the terms, it's plenty of things that I've had to walk away from that I either didn't want to walk away from, or was just like, all right, this is kind of disrespectful. Even though I need this money, I have to sacrifice so much time and energy and mental stress to get it done, then it's not worth it. So that's Laci Scammy 2 cents. I believe in asking for everything.
Well, on that note and drop of knowledge, great time to segue into daily creative challenge design reviews or design
Hey.
hacks. So let's see what you guys have been up to. I'm excited to see these. Yeah, so let's get things going. I'm going to. All right. Okay. So just a reminder, the Daily Creative Challenge today was to use Adobe Capture to make a calling card, either for a superhero or a supervillain, and Photoshop. So let's see. We could start with Fairy. Hey, Fairy. So this is your challenge day 6. Oh no, I think this might be a different challenge, but we can still give you feedback on this. So this is a Navy SEALs, it's like a code screen. Oh wait, no, this is your calling card. I love that. I like how you a modern day superhero. And I come from a Navy family, so I totally appreciate this. What are your thoughts, Laci?
I like it. I like the Navy SEAL icon. I like how cryptic it looks. Like,
Right.
I feel like it's like a, I don't know, like a game of Clue, which is weirdly one of my favorite board games.
Mine too. I love Clue.
I saw someone say on Twitter, they were like, they should basically create like a movie version, but I need to find a tweet. It was very thorough, and I was like, I want to see it.
yes. What would you did you give any? Well, what's your feedback for Fairy on this design?
Hmm. So it's hard because I want to know what his direction was, like where he wants to go. But I like the mysteriousness of it. I would even probably try to make it a little bit more cryptic, like maybe change the background to where it's like a similar color of the seal, and kind of just give it like that depth and that, I don't know, not necessarily a warmness, but like a mysterious type of, like, I'm thinking, it's just so weird. But like, cause we were talking about games, and I was thinking about, I used to play GoldenEye a lot, on like Sega and all types of stuff, but something that just feels mysterious. But yeah, I'll probably darken it up a little bit, maybe, and that's pretty much it, honestly.
Yeah, I can see that. They like the background, just kind of giving that more
Like Matrix or something. I don't know.
like hieroglyphics types.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Thanks, Barry. Okay, so next we have Pat. And so this is for villains and heroes. So Zach. I love the texture in this
Yes.
this shape here. It's like foil almost. Like
Oh yeah, it is, and I like how it sort of makes it pop off the page. But
mm-hmm.
it definitely, I like it. It's definitely giving me comic book vibes for sure. I want to like zap myself into vacation.
Yeah. I like what you did with the background here too. You have like the boom and the pow and the bam, and it's very subtle, but like, and it doesn't take away from like the main focal point. It just kind of adds some more depth in there, and some more
I
contrast.
love it.
Yeah,
You do a whole coloring, not coloring, comic book in
yeah,
this style.
totally. I dig this. This is cool. Feels very like 3D too. It's like all
Yes, yes.
especially with that A. Yeah, digging what you're doing with the contrast too and the typography.
It's a winner.
Okay, so H. Johnny tried to go with the flashlight, discovering the card look. Oh, thanks for the context. I like
Yes, we love a story.
it. Ooh, okay, this is cool. This is like you're this like feels very like Scooby-Doo investigation.
Yes, it's definitely how he described it, of like the flashlight, like, aha moment of like what's on the wall, like what does this mean, like in the movie. Um, yeah, I like it. I
Yeah.
like it. It's definitely an aha moment.
Yeah, you got the light, like the different inflections of the light down perfectly because you can
Hmm.
see it's like it's a little bit more vivid in in some parts and like a little bit more dull in others, which is like very accurate to a flashlight because it's just kind of like a small source of light, so you can't
Right.
like magnify a large space. So I feel like that is captured pretty accurately.
Yep. Agreed. Agreed.
I want to know if this is a villain or a hero though.
It's hard to tell. Like the shield looks so official. Hmm. Or it could be like a low key hero, like the person who like you work with that you have no idea they're fighting crime at night, like they're super low key and unassuming. That's the person. That's
Like
the vibes I'm getting.
briefcase and
Mm-hmm. And they go into the restroom and they change into a whole other person.
yep, he disappears into the parking garage.
Right.
Turns into a superhero or a supervillain. Loves funny. Oh, we got a villain. Yay.
Yes.
From Mark. And this
Ooh.
is the photography Dave Webb. Oh, I like how you added your little stamp on here.
Yes. And I like the like kind of like the same concept as the last one, like the being on the wall in an open space, like sort of that graffiti tag
Yeah.
element. I like it.
Yeah, this one does feel more villain because a villain doesn't want to be discreet. I mean, they're discreet in a sense of like when they're doing crimes, but like when they're, I don't know, I think when they're like trying to tell people like a crime has been made, but you can't
Yes.
me. You know, like they're very like out and about it.
Yes. 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 Exactly.
Streets for everybody to see like I did this.
Right. Right. And I feel like villains also always use something that is very known to the common eye, but then it actually means they have some like cynical meaning. So like even it being like pretty much like the flag, but
Right.
being sort of like, I don't know, villainous. I don't know if that's even a word, but
They're like doing the reverse Banksy. Like,
hmm.
yeah, this is cool. I'm like wondering. I like how you. It looks like you may have used like a, um, maybe a stamp tool or.
Hmm. And like blurred out the edges a little bit so
Yeah,
it feels imposed.
yeah. I think I would. The only thing I'd be interested in learning is like, what is this? Like more context around what this symbol means, and
Hmm.
like being able to know like maybe there's like a face that this is outlining that's kind of like their signature or
Right. We
their,
want to know the story.
yeah, or maybe it's a cue.
It does like a cue.
Oh,
I
okay,
think
so
it's a cue.
to tell us, you have to tell us. I think we're missing a key part of the story here, but I love this is great. Nice. Okay, so hiss, like
Hmm.
the way I make a brush, but had so much fun. Happy accidents. I left it as is. So I think this might be from the yesterday's daily creative challenge.
Nice.
Not, I don't know, but I like the use of typography here.
Yes.
Yeah,
I like it too.
this font in the back is like really cool.
Right. And I like the little graphic element, like the little three prong thingy.
Yeah, it feels like a more aggressive version of like the New York Times font.
Yes. Yes. And I think that's the interesting thing about it, is that this type of font can be used in different areas, from like thinking like editorial, or thinking about kind of like the old English type of vibe. Like you could turn it into rock a little bit if you wanted to. So I
Yeah,
like how you can do different things with this.
yeah, it's very versatile. Good. Good choice of font. Yeah, again, I think I just want to know the context. Like who's the hiss? Like, or who does the hissing?
I just think of like something hissing like a snake. Like as soon as I saw it, I was like, yes. Exactly what I thought about.
That's their alter ego is a snake.
Yeah.
But overall, really good. Okay. And I think this might be our last one. JD. Ooh, I can't tell if it's an alien or an evil gummy bear.
Oh, you're making me hungry. I'm like, well, I love gummy bears. Yes, I love how you don't know what it is. Like, I don't know if it's something that's good for me or bad for me.
Right, right.
It's like Stranger Things. Like,
It's you to
what
think.
is happening here?
Mm-hmm. It was like the Green Lantern. It's called.
Yes.
Yeah. It's really cool. I like that you chose like a different color. I feel like a lot of the calling cards are like red for like caution, or like for superheroes, it's probably a little bit more like of a subtle color. But the green is cool because it's just like it makes it even more mysterious. Like green is usually like a safe like earth color, but right here it looks very like unassuming and
Right.
cynical. We don't know, so I like that.
Might be like alien vibes too.
Right, could be an alien. Like
So
just don't even know.
I'm into aliens, so I think that's cool.
I'm into aliens too.
And I'm always nervous when I go to Joshua Tree because I'm like, this is the place where the strange things will happen.
Yeah. I mean, if you drive down to Vegas and you try to find Area 51.
Oh, whew, I want to stay far away. I'm like, I may discover something that I can't take back. So
It's funny, Google Maps won't tell you where it is, but you have
no.
research to like figure out what part of Vegas it lives in. But
Whatever happened to all those people that were going to like storm Area 51? Was that this year?
I don't know.
If that was in 2020, this has truly been a like absurd year. But it may have been the end of last year. It was very recent where it was a group of people that were saying that they were going to basically take over Area 51 and they were going to like march in. And so it was a whole movement. It was
Oh,
like, yeah, look it up. It was a whole thing. I was so curious about it.
we're about to look that up. Well, thank you guys. All of these submissions are great. Everyone did a really good job in like their interpretation of the calling card. So bravo. And
Yes.
Laci, we have like maybe 10, a little bit over 10 more minutes. Okay. Oh, we got a last minute one. The Hellcat. Very cool. Yeah, let's take a look at this one that just came in. Hellcat.
Let me stop sharing.
I like this one. I like the handwriting in the bottom.
Oh yeah, that one is it's hardcore.
Yeah, that one's for certain a villain. Like,
Yep.
there's no way.
There's no way around it.
You guys are doing a really good job, like getting the texture to look very organic on this brick background. Like, it's very believable. Awesome. All right.
Yep.
Awesome.
Okay, let's bring this together in some way. There's so many options. I'm just like, what do I want to do? But I want to do something, so I'm always drawing like off the artboard too, like for no apparent reason. Nope.
You're like, no, that's not what I want to do.
Right.
Now I'm really curious about this Area 50. Oh, okay. So somebody knows. Jared.
I knew someone would know. I know I'm not the only person that's like into all this stuff.
Jared says it was September 20th, 2019. I feel like I'm telling a scary story. September 20th, 2019
Yes.
was the Area 51 invasion.
Yes.
Now everyone is looking it up and trying to figure out what happened. Jared, tell us, can you give me a spoiler?
Like, did they ever make it there? Like, what happened? I never got.
Yeah, did they?
Well, I'm sure they didn't, but I want to know. I want to know what the attempt was.
I know. I will admit, I did recently take a road trip. I was going to Joshua Tree actually, but we wanted to drive through Death Valley because it looked really cool and it wasn't that hot. So we drove through Death Valley to get to Vegas to go to Joshua Tree. And I was like, oh my gosh, I feel like Area 51 is really close. And so I attempted to look it up on Google Maps, and of course I couldn't. And then I went in this rabbit hole of research trying to figure out how I could find it. And apparently there's a trick with Google Maps where they have this little avatar that appears on the map when you're close to it. And so I was like, oh my God, I think I know where it is. Well, kind of, but in the general area.
And now I'm like, where is it? Tell us everything.
Oh, Jared said it's spooky. Okay, I see. Now I really want to know like all of this stuff.
it truly is. And it's one of those things where I don't know. It's some stuff. I mentioned my government internship, and I don't know. It was just some things where I was like, wait a minute, why do I have clearance for some stuff? Like when you intern, well, depending on where you intern, you have like a top secret security clearance, but there are still certain things that you will not have access to. And there's always questions of why you don't have access to those things if your clearance is, what it needs to be. So I'll say that it's something sketchy going on.
Right. What a teaser for them to be like, yeah, we'll give you access to this, but this, no, don't even think.
No. And then it's like, well, what is this? And why can't I have access to it?
Oh my gosh, Jared is dropping some coordinates. This got really real.
Oh, see, Jared is gonna have me like on the news for trying to go find stuff that I don't need to find.
I could already see the headline: Adobe Live reveals.
Right. Like JK government, we're just kidding. We're not doing anything over here.
Right. We are literally making illustrations.
Yep.
About art.
That is it. I know nothing.
We know nothing. We did nothing. We didn't look up anything.
Right. It was all Jared. I'm kidding.
Jared, you gotta wipe out your trace of information.
Man, seriously. I think like that's privacy, and the internet is a whole different situation. Yesterday I got like a weird, I've been paranoid about it yesterday I got a text that was like, oh, you need to pick up a package, but like it actually said my name. And I know like those little phishing scams where they can get you like put in information. I clicked the link. Luckily it didn't. It was like a weird pop-up, but I'm like, I hope that pop-up didn't, I don't know, like somebody's looking at my phone or something. I don't know. It's like weird paranoia now.
No, I have those days too. Like you get weird texts.
Yeah, and I usually won't click on it, but it was the fact that it like used my name. And I do know like I ship prints, like I do different things. And so I'm like, maybe it's something that I was supposed to pick up. I know I was traveling recently. And as soon as I clicked it, it was like a weird pop-up. And I was like, no, but I didn't put in any information. So
yeah,
hopefully it's not, something sketchy.
Hopefully, but who knows? Oh, hi, Julia. Julia said hi and beautiful work, Laci.
Hi, girl. Thank you.
Julia does Adobe Live herself, and she does a lot of the Illustrator daily creative challenges. She's a very talented designer and really fun.
Ooh.
Miss Julia.
This is fun. I like the Adobe Lives. I'm having a good time.
Yeah, we're all a good, fun family. We try to keep it fun and real, and just have a good time. I really like how this is coming out though.
It's taking lots of turns, lots of twists and turns, and it's still turning. I don't know. I'm literally just like seeing like what I like in the moment because I like this monochromatic thing, but then I still have an urge to. I think it's just the color in me. Like even when I do something all in one tone, I'm like, no, I need to bring in another color, but I'm trying to make myself limited to a certain amount of colors. But
I
we
do
will
like
see.
that blue
Me
and
too.
it together.
And it's really figuring out because maybe let's see, figuring out where to put it where it makes sense. So it could be.
All right, y'all, we're getting close to the end. So if you have any last questions for Laci, now is the time. Oh, there was one question before we did the design reviews. When is your next class gonna drop? Either via Skillshare,
Ooh.
have YouTube, Instagram Live, what?
Oh man. So I was actually in talks with Skillshare about producing another class, and it, of course, like with everything going on, it's been on hold. But I do know they're shooting new stuff right now. So it may be a thing where I just have to like, 'cause of course with travel and stuff, I may have to do it myself, which man, producing a class or like any type of video is it's a lot. So I don't know, but I would say if not this year, which it could very well be this year, because like I mentioned, we've been talking about it. Definitely next year. But I'm one thing I really want to figure out, and maybe this is like a good forum to ask this question. One, figuring out different things that I want to teach and that people want to know. Because I'm always struggling with like, all right, it's so many tutorials, there's so many Skillshare classes, there's so many ways to learn how to do illustration. But is there another piece of my work that I want to teach, whether it's color or if it's just simply sharing things that I've learned, like talking about the manager stuff or like whatever. Trying to figure out like how do I diversify my knowledge, I guess, and what do people want to know. But at some point, once I stop working like crazy, I want to just figure out how to produce more sort of like educational content. I used to be a big blog girl back in the day. Like I've been blogging since high school. And I love the idea of just having a place where you could just one vent and just share information where it's not heavily produced. It doesn't have to be like a thing. So maybe that's me doing like office hours on Instagram where people just ask questions and I do a live video. Maybe I've been playing around with this podcast idea because I don't know, I guess I'm good at talking a little bit, like talking casually. And I'm like, maybe I should just sit around and talk to people about their creative journey. So I'm looking at multiple ways to do it. The podcast for sure is something that's been on my heart and my spirit for so long. So I think, or at least I hope before the end of the year, that is done. I was actually making a lot of traction on it a couple months ago and I had like this family stuff happening and just derailed me, but I'm like, I gotta get it back together. So yeah, I'm curious of what people will want to know as far as
I like all those ideas. I can certainly see the podcast coming to life because
yes.
you have a really cool network. And I just feel like a lot of the things and the growing pains and the accomplishments, like just hearing everyone share those in a like inclusive, welcoming space is always like really nice, I feel. And so I can certainly see that being.
You've inspired me because it's one of those things where like people like my friends know, and I mean I started at some point and I didn't have the focus of where I wanted to be, so I stopped it. And it's been one of those things that like I always talk about, like, I gotta do the podcast, I gotta do the podcast. And every time I tell people, they're like, yes, you should do it. And then it's things that all creatives deal with. You deal with self-doubt, you deal with like, is it going to be good enough? I don't consider myself someone who is good at interviewing. I'm not trying to be a journalist. So it's like, would I be good enough to like interview people, whatever that means. People listen. It's all those different things that sort of, once I get traction, I think about it and I'm like, I'm scared. But it's, again, it's something that's been on my heart, and I really feel like if something has been on your heart, a project, especially for years, then you kind of like got to honor that, or the opportunity will be given or going to someone else, and you'll look up one day and be like, dang it, that person did that thing that I sat on for all those years and didn't do it because I was nervous. So you inspired me to do a couple of things that I've been meaning to do. I'll probably do it today.
I'm so glad I could do that. You already have some co-signers on the Laci Jordan podcast, so sure, yeah, just talk to the people. We are out of time, and I'm so sad because this is such a fun 2 days. Laci, are you gonna post the final creation on your Instagram so people?
I think so. It's coming together. I really think I'm literally like almost done. I'm just gonna like duplicate this a few times and spread out the color, and I might post it on the gram.
Right, y'all. So we've shared the gram a bunch of times, but make sure you follow Laci. Give her some love about her podcast idea so that could come to life.
Yes, somebody stay on me so I can actually do it.
Any final words, Laci?
I just want to thank everyone for tuning in and sticking along our conversation in this journey. You can find me So Laci, like SOLACILIKE, on literally every platform: Pinterest, Instagram, Twitter. Easy to find. Feel free to reach out. DMs give me a lot of anxiety because sometimes they come in all at once. So if you DM me and it takes me a while, I will respond. Email is much better. That's pretty much it, y'all. Thank you.
Thank you.